Hey heathens, it's Lola here. I wrote a book. What? After much time quietly writing and loudly healing, I decided I wanted to share my story in detail. You may have heard my story of deconstruction and divorce on podcasts, but all the things I've been afraid to say or unable to adequately verbally express are now carved in script. My story takes you back to where I inherited a fear-filled faith and how I demolished the ideas of what love was, and how I discovered a future amid the smoke and rubble. I'm excited for you to get to experience my journey even more closely. I hope that this part of my life gives you hope and makes you feel brave to tell your own stories. My deconstruction memoir, Bludgeoned Faith, is out right now and available on Amazon paperback books or as an ebook on Kindle. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you already have access to this book. Click the link in our show notes and grab your copy today of Bludgeoned Faith by Lola Robbins. Thank you for your continued support. Now back to the show. Greetings, heathens. Dare to cross the threshold into the haunted halls of Deadly Faith's Halloween edition, a nightmarish descent into possessions, exorcisms, and unholy terror. Enter, if your soul can withstand it.
Welcome to Halloween edition, guys. I'm so excited.
It's spooky season. Bring out your pumpkins and your ghouls and your goblins and those really good Halloween cookies that have the little pumpkins and stuff on them. Love those.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those are my favorite. Love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're like us, then your Halloween stuff has been out for a really long time because
your Halloween just got a little Halloweener.
Yeah, we be celebrating Halloween. I mean, August 1st. We're like, bitch, it's Halloween.
That is true.
Yes. So as you guys know, this month we're coming at you with 4 episodes. You are getting one every single week for the next month. No breaks. Every Tuesday, tune in for an amazing, spooky, ookie dookie episode full of exorcisms and possessions.
That's not a scary scream. I'm sorry.
We are here, we are queer, and we are ready for the fear.
Good slogan.
I just came up with that off the bat. Look at me. Hey, hey. All right. Lola, what case are you sharing with us today?
This is Ralph and Joan Vollmer. Trigger warnings before we begin.
Ready?
Torture, murder, exorcism.
Ew. It's a pretty heavy one.
We are in Antwerp. What a name. Antwerp, Australia.
Antwerp.
Which is like the smallest town in the history of towns. It has one main road through it, like 10 homes, a convenience store, and a grain silo.
Oh my gosh, it legit reminds me of the town my mom and dad live in right now. It used to have, growing up in Texas, literally, you blink, you miss it.
Wow.
There's more houses than that. There's probably 30, 40, well, maybe a little more. I can't really remember. But they had a gas station. They used to. It got shut down. And now they don't even have a gas station.
Oh.
So they've literally,
okay.
It's insane. It's so small. So it's given those vibes.
Well, yeah. Imagine something similar to that for where we're at.
Even smaller, apparently. Yeah.
Also, let me give you another visual. So imagine a creepy house set in a Victorian country town, okay? Like haunted house, decrepit floorboards, dirty windows, just a darkness that lingers, over the whole property.
I want to go in.
Now stop imagining it. Because it's real.
I want to go in, though.
Oh, God. And it's not your typical haunted house, okay? But a terrible and haunting thing happened here.
Okay.
This is the home of Ralph and Joan Vollmer.
Okay.
Ralph was a pig farmer, and this has nothing to do with pigs. I'm sorry.
I know.
Nothing
but
to
you
do with
say...
it.
Have you ever heard of the serial killer pig farmer? So
yes.
Anytime it's like, there were a pig farmer, that's what pops in my head. I'm like, oh.
I know.
How old was by it? Anyways.
Yeah. So Ralph and Joan, they moved to Antwerp in the 1980s and bought a farmstead. But let's get some background on the couple.
Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. So Ralph was introverted, meek, super hardworking, a devout Christian.
Okay.
Ralph had married his first wife and had 2 sons, but his first wife passed away in the 70s. His sons grew up and they moved out. So Ralph was alone, but that all changed.
Yeah.
In 1986, he met Joan.
Okay.
Joan was small and shy and kind.
That is exactly what I pictured for some reason when you were like talking about him. I was just seeing that like picture, like really tall
Like the
farmer, like
pitchfork
short
dude?
wife. Yes, but like with the shorter wife.
Yes.
Also in that picture, it's him and his sister, not him and his wife.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know anything
think.
about that picture.
I could be wrong. I heard that somewhere. I could be wrong.
I believe you. So, unfortunately, Joan had a tumultuous upbringing due to sexual abuse in her family.
Oh.
I don't really know exactly what happened with her, but it said she didn't have many friends or close relationships due to the abuse that she suffered.
Wow. That sounds intense. Like it had to be pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
But she loved children. She was a nanny for a while, but she just wasn't able to hold down a job very well. So she was good at what she did, just not super consistent about it.
Gotcha.
She married young and had one child, but tragically her husband committed suicide.
Damn.
I don't know how, I don't know why, but yeah.
That's sad.
So she was obviously filled with like a lot of distress and anxiety and depression and grief and
trauma.
Just, yeah, a bad time. And her child, grew up, moved out as well. So both Ralph and Joan were on their own. And when she was in her 40s, she connected with Ralph and they fell in love.
Okay, so later in life couple. Got it.
Yes. They wanted to start just a new life together, which is why they moved to Antwerp.
Okay.
And I know that you'll appreciate this, but Joan was a plant lady through and through.
Yes. Bring it, girl. I don't even know how many plants I got in my house right now. It's insane. It's a forest.
She bordered the entire house with like these really nice flower beds. Like she worked really hard on them, made it really pretty. She, like the whole house, she decorated with like little trinkets and like porcelain figures. Like she was one of those girls that like.
Yes, I can see it.
She likes the pretty things. She likes the sentimental things. It's really nice.
Yes.
So truly, she turned their house into a home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the couple, they kept to themselves mainly. It was just a quiet family, just to themselves, just a couple on their own, empty nesters, that kind of thing,
When is this going to turn bad? Like, it's so cute. It's so quaint. It's like the perfect little family couple. I'm just like, I know this train's about to wreck. I know.
So sorry. Yeah, we're actually getting there really quickly, too.
Okay.
So I said earlier that Ralph was a devout Christian. He wasn't ultra religious. He went to church every Sunday, but he wasn't like in it.
Okay.
Like a bench warmer.
Yeah, it was more just like...
Yeah, think of a bench warmer.
A habit that he had formed and just kept doing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Joan specifically was not religious. So like their relationship wasn't centered around that to begin with.
Yeah.
It was just, whatever. But yeah, after they were together for a few years, like they started going to church together at a Christian church. And they also had a plaque in their home that read, "Christ is the head of this house, the unseen guest at every meal, the silent listener to every conversation."
Okay.
Ralph put that in. Joan did not.
Okay.
Because Joan, she's just not as like invested in her faith. She's fine with going to church. It seems to make Ralph happy, to like keep the tradition going.
Right. She's like, if this makes you happy, okay. Like, I don't see anything bad with it, but it's like, It's not my thing, but I'll do it with you because you love it, is kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yes.
Okay.
But with time, he kind of like gets more involved with church things. So he starts like studying his Bible in his free time. He is listening to church hymns versus more secular music. So like just slowly his tastes are evolving to more spiritual things, which is fine. Honestly, I see that happening a lot with people that are a little bit older, approaching their 50s and stuff and 60s. I can see that.
Yeah.
And he loved talking about religion. He loved talking to other people about it now. He was like, before he was a little more introverted, kind of quiet dude. But now he's like, not afraid to like strike up a conversation with a stranger about his faith and stuff, which is like fine.
Is he just talking about it or is he like proselytizing to people, or maybe a little both?
Maybe just a little bit of both, like a little bit of evangelizing and just talking about how happy he is in his faith and like things that he's learning maybe because like, he's studying his Bible. So like whatever.
Gotcha.
So they went to church at Horsham Salvation Army Church, which is a Lutheran church. Skipping forward to 1991,
Okay.
Joan was hospitalized for mental health issues.
Oh.
She was stuck on memories from her childhood, unable to stop focusing on specific things that happened in her childhood.
Oh, no.
And it made her unable to focus on normal day-to-day functions.
Wow.
And it especially was not helpful when she was working on big projects, such as she wanted to repaint Ralph's car and she used house paint.
Oh, no. You can't do that. That's not good. No. My husband literally is listening to this cringing from head to toe because he's painted both. And he's like,
yeah.
No.
Such ultra different mediums to work with.
Yes.
So Ralph took her to the hospital, but she didn't remain in hospital for very long. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia, anxiety, and depression. Again, we've been here before. I hate throwing around schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize that in the 80s and 90s, it was a more common diagnosis. And we need to acknowledge that
right.
It was more common because there were a lot of no-name type illnesses.
Right.
That just fell under it.
Yeah, it was more of an umbrella diagnosis back then than what we know today. There's broader.
So it could be true that she was suffering from that, but it also could be true that she wasn't.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So I just don't want us to feed any stigmas about anyone out there that does have schizophrenia, because people with schizophrenia are not dangerous or bad people or crazy or anything like that.
I thought that schizophrenia was more of a younger diagnosis. If you're going to be diagnosed,
right.
Isn't it usually, it's usually in your 20s.
It presents in the 20s normally.
Yeah. So that's a shocking diagnosis in your 40s.
So again, she's in her 40s at this time.
Yeah.
That doesn't really make sense for that. But anything is possible. I'm not a doctor.
To go 20 plus years without having any kind of telltale sign or something. I don't know. That is crazy to me.
So we're just going to say this is a very loose definition of whatever. They said schizophrenia, so we're just going to take it at name value for now.
Gotcha.
So she was released a few months after she was in hospital, and she was well. She was fine when she was released. She was on some medication for schizophrenia, and she was mentally sound for quite a while.
Okay.
But Ralph kept a close eye on her. He suspected that they didn't exactly get to the root of the problem with her.
Okay.
And he also suspected something dark was trying to get to his wife.
Oh, son of a bitch, I knew this is where it was going. I'm and on one hand, you're right. We didn't get to the root, but the root's just different.
He's leading in a way that's dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not wrong, but you're not right.
You're not on the wrong track, but you pulled that lever and veered off real fast.
There was an unlocked road that we didn't know we could go down.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So Ralph is worried for Joan. He's keeping a close eye on her. And he notices that she starts getting restless again. And so he takes her to the doctor, and they give her some medication to help with restlessness, and they schedule a follow-up for the next week. But she doesn't come to her appointment. Joan said that the medication wasn't helping her, and she's like, I just don't want to go back because they're going to put me on something different. That just doesn't work. And I just don't want all this back and forth. I've never been on schizophrenia meds or anything like that, or anything for restlessness. So I assume it probably doesn't make you feel great to be in a transitionary period with them.
Yeah, and I can imagine more so back then, you get a diagnosis like that and you're like, okay, here's these meds, take this and you're all better. When it's a lot more common these days to, okay, if this is your diagnosis, let's kind of dig into and see what the root is. Not that medicine can't be used, but let's not make that our only mode of treatment. And let's try to do therapy or EMDD or whatever it did. MDR. Is it MDR? Yeah, either way. Whatever.
EMDR.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I know I did the acronym wrong.
Whatever.
EMDR. I think that's, yes.
Eye movement, rapid something.
Yeah, like do something else besides just the medication.
I don't think that at this point she's like seeing a therapist for like talk therapy also.
I didn't think so either. I was going to assume not.
So things are starting to like ramp up again. She's acting weird. She's not able to focus. She's stuck on those old memories. She's just not behaving like the Joan that he like once knew.
Yeah.
At the start of their relationship. So at a certain point, he locks her in the basement.
But excuse me, what?
Uh-huh. I'm not sure if he thought this was like for her safety, for his safety, for both safety. I'm not sure what he was doing here.
Can't imagine that would help the situation.
But it didn't last very long from what I gather. So
good, I guess.
Yeah. So she's not taking her meds at this point. And he's like, okay, listen, I've got something better in mind. Like, let's not do the locking in the basement. Let's not do the meds. Like, we won't go to the doctor. Instead, I think you should submit to a deliverance, which is a fancy word for an exorcism to cleanse a person from all evil.
Okay.
Oh, dear, Ralph.
We went down that rabbit hole real fast.
Oh, so Ralph met with some of his church leaders for some advice. He confided in them about what was happening at their house lately and like about this suspected darkness within his wife. And he's like really worried about her.
Yeah.
And his church leaders are like comforting him. And they're like, hey, I think you should look into marriage counseling. Like this may not be something that really needs the church's mediation or like intervention.
Wow. Good response, church. Kudos. For the 80s. They're like, hey, go see a counselor.
Well, now we're in the 90s, but yeah, still.
Yeah.
A Lutheran 90s church doing something right?
Come on.
Color me surprised.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really know what to do with that information. And so he just like comes back to his wife and he presses her again about the deliverance.
Come on, dude.
And she's like, hello, Ralph, I am not evil and I'm not doing a deliverance.
Isn't that crazy that it's like for him, he's like, marriage counseling? No, I can't do that. That is way too hard. But a deliverance, that's what we need to do. Like,
well, and at this point, I don't even know if Ralph has like, I don't think he understands what that even means.
No.
I don't know if he's like seen it firsthand. I don't know if he's like been a part of one firsthand.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he has.
I wouldn't think so. If he was just kind of tangentially kind of going to church, wasn't super heavily involved, doesn't seem like this was something he was raised in.
Remember that he's like just now taking in a lot of religious like doctrine.
Yeah.
And religious like audio. He's got new circles of friends that are like super religious and like there may be like creeds that they subscribe to or like principles that they subscribe to that maybe the Lutheran church that he goes to isn't with.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they're
not vibing.
Because I know that it just takes like one thing to like kind of click in your brain and then all of a sudden, you're down the pipeline.
And also, remember, marriage counseling is for crazy people.
Yeah.
In the 70s, 80s, 90s, any type of like therapy or like counseling, that's for a crazy person.
Yeah. Who needs...
That's not for me.
Yeah. Who needs that?
So,
no.
Even to this day, my dad believes that therapy is for crazy people and he knows that I go and doesn't think I'm a crazy person.
You're like, come on.
And I'm like, Dad, make it make sense.
Yeah.
It's okay to go to therapy.
It's okay to talk about it. Like, it is okay to talk, and it is very hard to, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying that generation still has, for a large portion of the population of that generation, still has a very warped sense of what therapy is or what it means about you that you need to go to therapy. And they take it as something negative when it's not.
Yeah. There's a lot of fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
Especially when, like, first of all, I think my dad's only experience with it has been divorce counseling.
Oh.
Which was not helpful at all for anybody involved.
I can't imagine.
I totally understand why he has negative feelings towards it. Because, like, I probably would too if that was my only experience. So, But okay, so Joan tells him, she's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not doing this deliverance thing. Like, I'm not evil.
Yeah.
Please stop. And he says, okay, fine. Let me pray about this and I'll get back to you. We'll circle back to this at a later time.
She's like, no. And he goes, I'm going to pray about it. I'll be right back.
Well, he prays really hard. And would you know it, suddenly she's doing well again. And he's like, okay, this is my faith that's like doing this. So like, I just wasn't like doing enough.
Yeah.
You know? So he's like crediting all of his progress to his faith, and he feels even more validated in his religious beliefs in this way.
Oh, that's not good.
This is a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So much so that like, you know, before he was like okay with striking up a conversation with the stranger, now he's going out of his way to talk about like the amazing miracle of like his faith in God and what it did for his wife. So he's like 100% like going up to neighbors and like the gas station attendant and like anybody that he could have a conversation with. He's like, let's go. Let me tell you about this.
Yeah. It's like he had that one moment of confirmation bias and that's all he needed. And then that was just like,
that's enough.
Okay, I'm going to full send into this delusion.
Some of their neighbors started like dreading talking to him because it's all he would talk about. Like, they could not talk about anything else with him.
Yeah.
But then they said, like, with Joan, anytime they spoke with her, it was just normal banter, pleasant interaction. Like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
How's Jan? How's the dog? Okay, see you later, huh? Like,
yes.
Just normal interactions.
I just, like, see him walk outside and, like, all his neighbors just, like, run inside. And he's, like, banging.
The Lord!
He's, like, banging on their door. He's like, hello, I want to talk to you about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, like, they're like,
And they run from him. But the deemed crazy person or whatever, the evil person
is Joan,
is
his
like,
wife.
I just got some groceries at the market and I saw Phyllis and she's doing well.
Meanwhile, he's on his hands and knees trying to talk to him through the whole crack in the bottom of the door.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Okay, so with this like impassioned quest he's on now, you know, his circles were widening a little bit beforehand with his new like desire for like religious awakening.
Yeah.
But now he's like talking to people that do things like speak in tongues and like the healing miracles thing. So like the 90s was a time where we see a lot of Christian denominations adopting those types of like really enthusiastic worship practices. Laci's cringing hard because she's been part of it.
My whole body's like, oh my God, shut the fuck up.
She's shutting down. Oh.
The fact that I like legit believed I could speak in tongues.
Well, everyone that's spoken in tongues believes that they've done it.
Oh yeah. I did believe I could speak in tongues, but at the same time, like I knew like, girl, I'm just speaking gibberish to fit in.
Listen, there are some people that I genuinely respect, but they believe that they speak in tongues. And I'm just not willing to have the conversation with them to be like, that is called religious psychosis. It is a legitimate issue.
Yeah.
And if propelled by evangelical churches, please stop.
Yes.
You're not speaking Italian.
No. It's literally gibberish. Like if I wanted to, I could do it right now.
Do it. No, don't. Listen, there have been some phenomenons.
That felt icky.
I know. Like, I won't doubt there have been, like, magical phenomenons where people have spoken a different language before and been, like, unaware of the language beforehand. But I just don't think it's as common as evangelical churches would have you believe.
No.
And under the same circumstances as well. I actually think it might be attributed to something maybe a bit darker instead of what they're thinking that it's attributed with. That's my personal belief.
It's just the need for us to feel special and want answers and feel connected to God. And because God is not a physical being that we can interact with. We try anything and everything we can to have some kind of connection with that. And if other people are doing it and they look like they're having this connection with God, then okay, then I'm going to do that. And then maybe I'll feel this way. And just peer pressure.
Which again is like crossing a spiritual threshold and a spiritual like boundary that like, this is such a nuanced conversation of like, don't mess with the Ouija board, but speak in tongues. Explain the difference to me.
Yes.
Because it's a bad intention, but if you intended to speak with your grandfather through that board and you got something darker, is it a bad intention? And is it the same with speaking in tongues? It's a question you should ask yourself.
I agree.
It's a question we should all ponder about. I'm not saying I have the answer, but anyway.
Yeah.
So Ralph is hanging out with these people that are doing the more enthusiastic type services. And he's on the quest for deeper spirituality. And so he meets these people, John and Leanne Reichenbacken.
Shut your damn face right now, Reichenbacken.
Reichenback? I don't know.
Reichenbacken. I cannot with that name.
So they're in those really impassioned religious circles of the Lutheran Church.
Okay.
And they told him that they believed they had, like, they themselves had the gift to drive out darkness and perform healing miracles.
The superiority complex with these people, which is like in these more fanatical branches of religion, whether Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever you want to say, whatever it is, these people who feel like, oh, I have the answer or I have this special ability. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are?
It's the inflated ego for me when like your whole religion says set ego aside.
Yes.
Isn't that odd? So John and Leanne, they have like home Bible studies where they would sing and study with other people that also are of the same mind with these like healings and whatever else, performing with their gifts that they have. So Ralph attends all of these devotionals and he gets really close with John and Leanne. Now remember, Joan, she's kind of like, I'll go to Sunday church with you, but like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
She may have gone to a couple of these for all I know, but she's not doing the same things that he's doing.
No. And I can understand that. Like I had people who were like, we go to church, but like your church?
Yeah.
Nah. 2 hours
and
of
Joan
worship.
Didn't grow up in religious households. She didn't raise her kids that way. She just was never really a religious person until she met him, and then she was okay with going for tradition's sake. So Ralph is going to these like Bible studies, and he's getting close with both the couple, John and Leanne, and the other people there. But traditional Lutherans don't do the type of things that these people are doing.
Okay.
And they don't agree with it. They don't vibe with it.
They're like, meh, that's not in our doctrine.
They don't believe in divine gifts given to us specifically after the veil was torn.
Yeah.
So they may acknowledge that before Christ's death because of like different prophets and things like that had like divination skills. But after the veil was torn, a lot of like, I don't know if it's called a New Age church, but pretty much after that, the Christian church kind of let go of those types of practices.
Yes.
In a traditional sense. So
for those listening who might not understand what she means by when the veil was torn. I have to remember, like, some of our listeners didn't grow up in the church like we did. So when Jesus died on the cross and then was it when he died or was it 3 days later, the veil?
It's when he died.
When he died.
When his last breath was taken, the veil was torn between like...
In the tabernacle, right? Wasn't it in the tabernacle? Because there was this veil that like, if you went across this veil into Jesus's or God's presence, like you had to be so clean.
You were you were in the presence of God. You had to like purify yourself before. So you'd offer a burnt sacrifice. You would like sometimes do like the holy water thing.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like blessed by the priest or the whoever is at the tabernacle or temple. And then you'd go behind that. And the veil is very thick. It's like, think of like a thick velvet curtain. It's not like a thin veil.
Yes.
As it may sound. And so like there was like a great tear in it.
Yeah.
And that was symbolizing like there is nothing between God and his people anymore, or Jesus and his people.
You don't have to be this like clean, perfect, pure person in order to cross that veil and be in God's presence.
Come as you are,
because
Nirvana
if
style.
you cross that veil and you weren't pure, you would fall dead right on the other side of the veil. And so it's symbolizing like God is now with everybody in his spirit. You can be in God's presence or his presence be with you.
There's no password required.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. There's your Bible lesson for the day, guys.
Yeah. Come to the Bibles. Don't. We're not doing that.
No.
So after some disagreement with church leaders, John and Leanne were exiled from the Lutheran congregation, honestly, the Lutheran church in their area.
Yeah, saw that coming.
In 1992.
Saw that coming.
Yeah. So January 10th of 1993, Ralph and Joan were coming home from a 6-day religious convention that had been several hours away in Adelaide, Australia.
Okay.
It was a great trip. They had a great time. It was recommended to them by their like new deep religious friends.
Okay.
And nothing happened, like nothing eventful happened on the trip. It was just a lot of devotion, worship, and like study together and prayer time.
It's probably similar to like summer camp. Like you came back from summer camp with this like, I'm on fire for Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. When they came home though, Joan's behavior became odd. She was a little scatterbrained, not able to focus well. We've been here before. You know, she was changing clothes during the day really often. And she was having issues falling and staying asleep. Ralph could look past some of these things. You know, he was like, okay, she's ramping up again. It's a bad time again. But like, this isn't the worst it's been.
Okay.
She doesn't have the pain out.
Yeah.
So Ralph then said that Joan started like making weird noises and her personality would change. Like just by the hour or by the day, it would change. There were like a bunch of different versions of her and he wasn't ever sure which one he was going to get or speak to. And I know what you're probably thinking. Laci's eyes are big. She's thinking DID.
Yes, easily.
Which again, DID, I believe in the 90s was kind of looped into schizophrenia.
Yeah. Not a lot of, I don't think a lot of people, it wasn't as well studied as it is now, and it's still being studied. And it was called back then.
And DID used to be called
multiple personality disorder.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. That is something, DID can easily be something that you don't get diagnosed until later in life. Like I have somebody I know very dear to me who was not diagnosed until he was in his like, I think he's in his 50s. Okay. So that can be a result. It's usually a result of very traumatic childhoods.
That's the thing, childhood trauma, and the trauma that affected her so deeply that she had a hard time with relationships and like holding down jobs and things like that. So it kind of makes sense in a way.
It does.
However, we're not going to say at no point in time was she diagnosed with that.
Yeah.
So we're not going to say that she had that. I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit since she was given a schizophrenia diagnosis.
Right.
And we know how iffy that was at the time. So
yeah, like something's going on. We can all see it's very
mental
clear.
Health.
There's some mental health.
This is not a religious thing.
Right.
It's mental health. That's what it needed to be.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm getting different versions of her. I don't know who I'm speaking with. I don't know like what she wants or what's happening.
Not good.
And it wasn't like she's just like being moody, you know? She once thought she was a sheep shearer and began talking like a farmer. I don't know what that means exactly, talking like a farmer. And then another time she thought she was a sex worker and started talking about certain performances that she did for clients. Joan has never worked in sex work before. She's never been a sheep shearer.
Oh, this is bad.
And she was being ultra graphic with what she was saying sexually. And it was like things that like they had never done. And she's like,
oh gosh,
she's a very like mild-mannered lady.
Yeah.
So like to say things so out of pocket was just like jarring, you know?
Oh God, I don't like.
And so she's showing all of these like kind of newer, more intense attributes, and then alongside other things that she was experiencing from years prior. So like restlessness,
Yes,
difficulty focusing, anxiety, whatever, just all the things that she was having before, but now it's just at a whole other level that's like scary and distressing for Ralph too, you know?
Our body can only handle so much trauma.
The body keeps the score.
It does. And over time, you can pile it away, you can put it behind the closed door as much as you want, but it's still affecting your body. It's still affecting your hormones. And over time, that just eats away at so many different systems in your body that like, I just want to walk up because I know what he's thinking. I fucking know what he's thinking right now. And I just want to pop him in the forehead. Like, stop it. Bad boy.
Just
it's mental health. It's mental health. She's not possessed by a demon. Stop it.
And it's probably even scarier because he said that at nighttime, it was always the worst for Joan, which for many mental health issues, nighttime is a bad time.
Yeah. And I can see like from his perspective, like this must have been scary. You know, like
if I were him and that was happening to my spouse who I was in love with and started a new life with, I'd be like, oh my God, what is happening? Like,
and when it's a time where mental health isn't as well talked about as it is today, and that's the only avenue that your brain knows to go down, like that's the simple answer.
Yeah.
I can get why he's going there.
It's tracking, but it's not right.
Exactly.
Over a period of a few weeks, things just keep getting worse for her mental state. And Ralph was sure that this was another spiritual attack. And so he thought they went to this conference and it was really good. And so the devil kind of saw them doing well and was like, okay, I got to strike them now, you know, that kind of thing. Which in evangelical circles, we have all been told if we've been to a conference like this that like when you get out of here the world's gonna hit you hard because they know you're on fire now and like they know that you're stronger together.
The devil's gonna try to pull you down,
and when you're by yourself it's gonna get bad. So he was like, maybe I can just like pray this away. So he prayed fervently, like he was maybe too fervently, you know.
Yeah.
He got a little bit paranoid and he wrote himself a cute little reminder. He painted in red paint outside the walls of their pig pen that said, "Stop telling Father your needs," because he was praying so often, so rigorously for so many hours that he was like, I'm gonna ask too much of God, or I'm gonna like overstay my welcome in the prayer or something. Laci looks scared. You should be scared.
He's gone delusional.
Yeah. Okay, so January 21st, Joan's friend Roma Karas visited her. It was very warm outside at this time, so Roma was really surprised when Joan greeted her at the door wearing heavy clothing and noticed that Joan's hands were really, really cold.
Oh, no.
So Roma brought Joan some flowers because, you know, she's a flower girl.
Yeah.
She's a plant girl.
She loves her plant.
Got to bring her friend something.
Yeah.
And Joan pulled all the flowers apart and sang in a really high-pitched voice, just like weird words. Just kind of like sang, you know, as she did this.
Can you imagine? I just like walk up to your house with flowers and you respond with
I'm
that.
Like,
The way I would put you in my car and take you to the hospital so fucking fast. I'm like, check for a tumor. There's a tumor. Someone, please.
That's the thing. Yeah. CT scan immediately. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Roma also noticed that Joan's stomach looked swollen, and she asked Joan about this. And Joan said that she was expecting a baby.
Was she?
And that she was also swelling because of a cancer mass. So both.
What's the truth?
Neither was real.
But why is she swollen?
I don't really know like what this is indicative of, but
Yeah.
it seems to me that it wasn't just a mental health issue, but most likely a physical issue that may have been overlooked because of the mental health stuff. So like maybe she was in pain, but didn't know how to express that to Ralph. Maybe something more was happening, but like she just wasn't maybe in her right mind to like talk about it.
Yeah, or maybe she did have some kind of tumor, which was also
Could have
affecting her mental state, which was also
Could be.
affecting, and that's why because like if she looked, it's different to say that somebody has gained weight versus somebody looks swollen, like they have a distended stomach. Like that's very different looking, and you can tell the difference. So that's like, okay, she's distended. Is that fluid buildup? Could that be because she has a tumor that's pressing on something? Or that's just where my brain goes. Like,
Yeah.
Did we find out? God damn it.
So Joan told Roma that she was also really scared that there were people on her property trying to assault her.
Oh, no.
But no one was on their property at all. Remember, this is a really small town, like population less than 70 at most. And you could see they live on like a flat land. You can see everywhere on the property if someone's there. So Roma is concerned. So she calls Ralph and lets him know that she's worried. And he's like, okay, I will come home soon. So he comes home. They just kind of deal with it the rest of the day, I guess.
Right.
Because the following day, January 22nd, so Roma is no longer there with them. She was just visiting for the day. Ralph goes to work again, and then he comes home that evening from the store to find Joan waving her arms and swearing at no one and dancing around.
Oh, no.
And this is, again, just uncharacteristic of her. It's just not...
No.
It's not what she does on the regular, so he was scared. And he described her eyes as glowing red. I think what he meant was that they were probably bloodshot from lack of sleep.
Oh, because she's struggling.
Remember, beforehand, she used to have a hard time falling and staying asleep. So again, as her symptoms are getting worse, I'm assuming, again, this probably means the same thing.
Yeah. Ugh.
So he prayed hard, and he was just like... got this really strong feeling that he needs to call his friend John.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And so he calls John and Leanne, and they comfort Ralph. And they're like, okay, we're going to come over. We're going to help her. We're going to like see what's going on. So they pull up at like 11:30 at night. And after they see Joan, John pulled Ralph aside and he's like, I'm sorry, but your wife is possessed by a demon. And we need to up the ante here. So they stayed up all night, praying loudly and reading scripture to Joan all night.
We know it's not going to work because we know that's not what's happening.
You and I know that.
But exactly. But he, in his mind, he's already had a situation where he felt like his prayer is what made her do better. So when this isn't working, he's just going to go further. Like, I just need to do more.
I just need to pray harder. I need to do more rituals. I need to, So January 23rd, the next day, John goes home, but Leanne takes John's place in the rituals. So she is now praying and reading scripture loudly. And she also calls on some help from someone named Leah Cluxton.
Okay.
Leanne spoke to Leah over the phone and asked for her spiritual guidance. So Leah, I believe, is an older woman that's kind of like a spiritual mentor to these people.
Okay.
So she calls her for guidance, and Leah listens to the story, and she's like, I think that Joan is possessed by not 1, but 10 demons. Leah, how do you know that over the phone? What kind of telehealth conference is this?
10?
10.
Where the hell did she get that number?
Okay, now if you're asking what's Joan doing, up to this call, Joan is sat at the kitchen table while they read scripture and pray over her.
And she's just sitting there.
And she's just sitting there. And they're also asking her like a bunch of different questions and also playing hymns in the background. So there's just a lot of stimulation happening here.
Oh my God, shoot me now. I could not handle that.
This is an all day and night session the entire day of the 23rd. January 24th, They concluded at the end of January 24th, that day, they concluded that nothing had changed with Joan. They need more help. So they call on David Klingner from their prayer circle. And David had never felt comfortable near Joan. He thought that she was always odd and that her behavior was probably demonic. So he just never got along with her.
Not everything is demonic.
Say more. So he's roped into this whole situation. He comes over and he also does the stuff, the praying and the screaming the scripture and asking her interrogative questions. And how is Joan reacting, you may ask? She's just stoic. She is exhausted and she's anxious.
She hasn't slept in 2 days.
Exactly.
Let the poor woman sleep.
Now, David then claims that he saw her eyes roll back in her head and confirmed this meant that she had a demon inside her. That's demon behavior.
No.
My eyes roll back in my head if I was that tired too.
And that's not, no, he thought he saw that. He didn't see
Or maybe
that.
she was just rolling her eyes at you.
Yeah. And
because I might have.
You were trying to see something, and so you wanted to see it, so that's what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
It did not happen.
So January 26th, 2 days later, or no, this is, I guess, a day later, David prays and reads scripture along with both John and Leanne over Joan. And Joan began to verbally abuse them, and she was just really irritable with the three of them. She was over it. She was combative.
Yeah, you've kept her up for 3 days. Sleep deprivation. It's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a torture technique.
January 28th, 2 days later.
Oh, my God. I'm uncomfortable.
Joan is restless. She's unwilling to sit and told them to stop praying and singing and reading and to just stop everything.
Yep.
Ralph.
Amen, sister.
I know. Where has he been? He's been here the whole time. Ralph then decides to tie her feet to wooden planks so that she could not move around.
Okay. I sympathize with her so much right now because have I ever been in her situation? Absolutely not. But have I had people pray over me when I was having anxiety? Yes. And do you know what I wanted to do?
Makes it so much worse.
And do you know what I wanted to do every single time somebody wanted to pray? I wanted to take a bat to their fucking heads. Because I'm like, I knew that this was a physical thing going on in my body, that prayer was not changing. We've tried prayer. We've done the whole prayer thing. And I finally, this was before I fully deconstructed. And I finally looked at my husband and I said, if I ever say I'm having an anxiety attack, don't you let one person pray over me. It doesn't work. It doesn't help. And all it does is it makes my anxiety worse.
It doesn't.
And then it makes me feel bad because I don't want you to pray over me. And then I feel bad for not wanting prayer. And it's a fucking cycle. And I would just be like, I gotta go, bye. So on a very small scale, I can somewhat little bitsy understand.
Yeah, we've never had the wooden planks, but we have had
I haven't had sleep deprivation for multiple days.
We've had maybe
I'm uncomfortable.
A 30-minute prayer session that was uncomfortable for us, but yeah.
Yes.
After he ties the planks, he then tells the group that they should stop giving her food and water so that it would starve the demon.
That's not how that works.
And when Joan is asking for food and water, they just prayed harder and louder to stop her from talking. And they interrogated her more and then also began smacking her across the face when she didn't answer them how they wanted her to.
This is giving Luke. Is it Luke?
Disgusting.
No. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
We covered the case a long time ago.
Yeah. So Ralph is distressed watching his wife suffer and be slapped and everything. She now has welts and bruising on her face and different parts of her body. So Ralph told his friends, surely this is not God's will.
No.
But they reminded him,
no,
it's a demon.
No.
It's not your wife.
He had a moment.
I know. He gets so close to the truth. This is where hive mind should die. Anyway. So nothing's getting better with Joan still, and the group is stuck on what to do. So they consult another spiritual mentor, Kathleen Nesky, And Kathleen said, "Let me send my son Matthew to help you." Matthew was said to be sensitive to God's messages and had prior experience with detecting demons. I don't believe that that's a resume qualifier.
I was just about to say, I'd love to see your resume because of what?
So Matthew arrived, and it was another super hot day in Antwerp. All the windows of the Vollmer house were open, and the kitchen had all the furniture removed, except one chair, which Joan was bound to.
This is like a CIA black site.
Okay, so Matthew walks in. He's like, "Hi, everyone." He just greets everyone. And then he tried to interact with Joan, but she refused to look at him. And this made him feel like it was a demon that was aware of his gifts and presence.
Nah, she said, "Untie me, motherfucker. I'm hungry and I'm tired."
Maybe she just doesn't want another stupid person that believes they have gifts trying to get some kind of evil out of her that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So Matthew blessed some oil and anointed the group and then wrapped the entire outside of the house. You're hearing me right when I say this. He wraps the entire outside of the house in cling wrap to prevent an evil spirit from coming in.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
What? I have never. I've read a lot about some exorcism. I have never heard of that one before.
You didn't know they can't get through saran wrap?
They can get in my body, but yet they can't get through saran wrap? Like, what the fuck?
Of course not. The microplastics? No.
I can't.
So Matthew instructs the group to destroy any idols that Joan may be worshiping. Oh my God.
Did they destroy her plants?
This is it makes me want to cry because, it's just, okay. They destroyed all of her beautiful trinkets and porcelain with hammers, and Matthew ripped out all of her lovely plants and garden beds outside. Everything that she loved, they ruined it. I can feel the anger rippling off of you.
I can't.
It's when Laci goes silent.
Guys, Lola knows. She's been in my house. She knows how many plants I have. And I have collected a good amount more since last time she's been here. I have babied these things. I have done so well. And I haven't killed one in so long. I have worked so hard. I love them. If somebody fucked with my plants, I'd be so pissed. It is like, it's like the knife was already there. And they not just twisted it. They
twist.
They really they kept it going. They
shoved it upward.
What asshole?
Disgusting. All of her cute little figurines and stuff, and her trinkets. Their house. She made a home with all these beautiful things. And
what is it about that that makes me so angry and it impacts me? It is.
It's because it's the most precious. It's the most precious little things that bring her joy. And when you destroy someone's joy, that means you are the most vile type of person. You believe the most vile things. Your values are so warped, That's impacted me more than them starving her. It's crazy. Because those are the things that literally do not matter. They do not affect the situation at all. They are precious to her, and you're just destroying everything that makes her happy.
And it's so I can understand, it's not okay, it's not good, but I can understand in their religious delusion being okay, well, we have to starve the demon, then the demon will leave. We can't let her move. But the trinkets, that is stuff she loved pre-demon.
Exactly. It's
so what does that have to do with the demon? That's just you being a grade A asshole.
I don't like Matthew. I don't like any of them, but Matthew, oof. So Matthew commands the demon to leave Joan's body while Leanne forcefully pushes on Joan's torso in an attempt to push the demon out physically. David placed Joan in a headlock and forcefully opened her eyes with his fingers so she would look at Matthew as he worked. Oh, this is nauseating.
How does pushing on a physical body push out a spiritual demon? Make it make sense.
Cling wrap. Sorry. I just can't get over that. Anyway.
Put that on a shirt. Oh my God.
Click wrap, ? So Joan is fighting against them hard. They slapped her over and over. They yanked her jaw open to release the demon. After hours of questioning her, the group decided that they had identified one demon in her named Legion. Like the one from the Bible.
Oh my God, of course you did. Also, they've only identified one. Apparently she has 10. How much longer can she hold out?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not okay. Not okay.
After many more hours, they were sure that they had casted out some of the demons, but Legion, the one that they had named, was strong and remained in her. So they moved Joan to her bed and sat on her while restraining her. They pushed on her torso hard over and over to, again, push out the demon. They smashed her over the head with different items, and they shoved her into walls at a certain point, and she begged them to stop.
Oh my God.
They then began pushing on her neck when suddenly Joan groaned loudly and went still. Matthew called out that they had defeated the demons, and Ralph watched his still wife. He ran to check her pulse and her breathing, and she was gone.
Oh, you killed her. You didn't get a demon out. You killed her.
The group tried to resuscitate her, but with no success. Matthew, shut the fuck up. Matthew said this was normal and said that it was temporary and that she would be awake by the next day.
Oh my God, your religious delusions just took a whole nother leap off the cliff. Excuse me. Fuck him.
She'll wake up tomorrow, leaves the house. He's out.
Okay.
So John, Leanne, and Ralph sang and prayed over the body. The next morning comes. Joan is not awake.
Yeah. He literally was like, bye, deuces. You guys deal with the mess I created.
Leah, remember that spiritual mentor that instructed Leanne?
Yes, the older lady.
She arrives at the house to assist the trio with waking Joan. She pressed her hands onto Joan's face and spoke over her 3 times with no success. And she left to pray more. And she said, when I receive a new message, I'll let you know. But when she received a new message from God, it was a message stating, call the authorities. So
I am sorry I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable. But it's like, really? This is the moment you were like, yeah, I think God's telling us to call the authorities. So what is it? Was God talking to you all these other times that led to her death, or is he talking to you now to call the authorities? Because one is not equaling the other. They're
Leah's full of bull crap. That's it. Like,
yeah, they're opposites. They're all Delulu.
Okay. Delulu without a labubu.
Yeah, I do want a labubu. Anyways, moving on.
So Leah calls authorities, and then she also informs the Lutheran church, that church that Ralph is still part of, that they need to go in and visit the Vollmers. The police are notified.
That's all she says?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
You should go visit them. Because we might have killed his wife last night. Oops.
So the police are notified on February 1st, and the Lutheran minister came to the Vollmer's home, where he was told to visit the family. David met the officers at the front of the property and told them, it's a long story what happened here. That's literally what he said. Oh, God.
I thought my wife was possessed. We tried to do an exorcism, ended up killing her.
David was just one of the freaks in the prayer circle. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, trying to lead up like, officers, listen, it's a long story. Shut up.
Right.
So the police saw Leanna and Ralph at the kitchen table right as they walk in, and they're like researching in the Bible about resurrection. And they're just like head down in the books. Like they won't even look up to acknowledge it. They're like in this, you know? And they're like, we're gonna go see your wife back here. And they're like, okay, yeah. Like, we're busy.
Because David's Leanne's husband, and David's the one that went out to the cops.
No, David is not. John and Leanne are married.
John
David
is
was one of
Leanne's.
their
Okay.
prayer group members.
Okay. So he is the stranger. He is just the random guy that's like, it's a long story.
I mean, he's still part of it. Like,
Right.
he did bad things, but like, whatever. So the police, they go back to the bedroom to see Joan. I want you to remember that in Antwerp, it is extremely hot. The windows were all open, you know, for a reason whenever Matthew showed up, because it's hot. Her body is badly decayed from the heat. Even though it's only been a day and a half, there are flies and maggots all over her. And the smell is just ungodly, just disgusting, foul. Joan had been dead. She'd been dead for a while.
For a very long time.
For a couple days.
Well, and she had also had all these injuries that she was sustaining along the way.
Yeah.
That were not being treated. So that tissue is also dying and smelling prior to her physical final death, I'm sure.
And so the police, they go up to Ralph and like, hey, bud, why are you so calm? Your wife's dead. Why are you not like calling the coroner and the funeral home and like making arrangements? Like, what's happening? And Ralph is like, oh, no need. Like, that's not needed because she'll be awake in a little while and she'll be healthy and right as rain. You know, just you're about to see something amazing happen.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, bud. And they call for backup.
Right.
And then David, this little side character, bitch, he's like, he tells the police what happened with the demons inside her and that they restrained her due to the like demon strength she had. And
dude, this is not this time you want to be the leader.
Oh.
Like, this is not the situation where be like, here, let me tell you.
He loves to take credit. This guy.
Yeah, apparently.
So Joan's body was taken to a medical examiner, and Ralph, David, and Leanne were interviewed at the station. Ralph claimed that Joan had told him during the exorcism that her parents had baptized her in the name of Satan and sacrificed some of their other children to Satan, and that they called Joan Baby Princess Joan. Her family has come forward and denied all of these claims.
I don't believe one of them.
He said that he didn't take her back to the doctors because the psych hospital had caused Joan great anxiety and she was scared of doctors. And so he just promised her, like, I'll never send you away there again.
Oh, gosh.
That could have been true because remember, like, she did refuse at a certain point to go back to her doctor because of the...
And she didn't want to take her meds.
Yeah, the back and forth with the medication, like, part of that could be true, but whatever.
Yeah. And when I said I don't believe one of them, I wasn't talking about her family. I just meant I don't believe one of the things they said she said about her childhood. That's what I meant.
Ralph claimed that his friends were leading the demon exorcism and that he supported them and he trusted them when they said that they weren't hurting Joan, they were hurting the demons. And he said that wasn't my wife during that time. That was like an evil spirit that had to be dealt with.
I just don't know. How do you get that they're not hurting her, they're just hurting the demon when they're physically assaulting her human body?
How can a demon get through saran wrap?
Great question.
Or how can it not get through saran wrap? Like, make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
And Ralph, at this point, is still convinced that God would resurrect her. Leanne was shocked that Joan had passed away. She said that she was skilled in these exorcisms for the last 18 months and that no one had ever died.
She's acting like she has like 20 years experience. She's like, I've been doing this for 18 months. Ma'am, how many exorcisms did you do in 18 months?
I am concerned. How many did you do?
Especially with this small of a town, I don't think there's many.
So David said that he knew calling an ambulance would have been the best thing to do, but that the group was in spiritual warfare and God told him the situation would make them famous around the world and lead to new converts. So again, David, you asshole, you bitch ass motherfucker, you stupid cunt bag. Like, sit the fuck down.
Bitch ass motherfucker, stupid cunt bag. I love that. I can't.
David said he knew he'd be held criminally responsible too, but that when he got arrested, God would bring Joan back and show how great that he and the group is, and they would be set free. That's not how the law works. Also,
he is so
he's so full of himself.
He is so delulu, but in a completely different sense. Like, he wants the attention. Like, he made the comment, we are going to be famous.
Literally, he said that, yeah.
Yeah, that was what he first said before he went to, of course, and then we'll have new converts for Jesus. But like, we'll be famous.
And isn't that worth it? Yeah. Weird thing is, okay, I don't really know how law and order work in Australia. So any of our listeners out there, I'd love for you to tell me more about it. But the police let them all go.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What?
Just for the time being, they'd let them all go. I'm still confused, but whatever. So police visit Ralph on February 2nd and filmed a tour of him showing them around the house where every bit of the exorcism occurred. So
okay,
I don't know if maybe they were just like reviewing evidence and that's why they're like, we can't hold him on anything right now, so let me just build a case. And this was part of it.
And they also don't know how she died specifically. So maybe they're waiting on the coroner's report because, like, maybe there's a chance she died of natural causes.
Yes.
But I'm thinking that might be something that they're thinking.
Again, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
On Joan's autopsy, her cause of death was not official, but probably was by thyroid issues, and cartilage was broken in her neck. And she also experienced cardiac arrest. So
a heart attack?
All of those things combined in a way?
Yeah.
Media caught wind of the case, and Ralph was all too happy to talk with journalists and reporters. One report, Ralph stated, there was a great noise of hissing, screaming, and groaning. And the noise died down, and I looked in her eyes, and I saw
Ralph.
I saw the life leave. I don't know why he was so excited to talk about this, but...
Yeah, why are you interviewing? What are you doing?
He said that he didn't report her death since his friends received word from God that he would resurrect her.
No.
3 days later, February 5th, Joan's funeral was held by her family and church. Ralph was still clinging to the belief that she would return as he comes to the funeral and everything.
My man. He let it go.
And he invited media to come witness the funeral because he said, she's gonna resurrect, like it's gonna happen here in front of all these people.
Oh, and all that media showed up for this circus because
they did.
I can't not. This poor woman can't even get peace at her funeral.
I know.
Her funeral is a shit show. It is a circus for everyone.
Her last days were chaos. Like, everything is so chaotic. Yeah. The service was held at the Horsham Salvation Army Church by that congregation that Ralph and Joan went to.
The original one.
Mm-hmm. And the congregation attended, but most of Joan's family was just so distraught by her passing and everything surrounding it that they did not come.
Yeah. I can see that because he's inviting all of this media. It's becoming a literal circus. They don't want to get caught up in that. No judgment.
And Ralph is delusional.
Yeah, very.
Like, her family is not buying any of this. And Ralph didn't even tell the family the manner of her death. He just said to them she died slowly. He didn't tell them anything as to why. Okay, first of all, why would you say she died slowly?
That's not good.
Secondly, why wouldn't you tell them exactly what happened and that you were part of it?
And I will say, they said she had thyroid issues. The swelling, that makes sense now.
Yeah, like swelling and like the hands being cold and stuff, like that could have been.
Yes, bad circulation.
Part of that. I just don't have anything definitive as far as like a diagnosis on physically what was happening at that time. So,
oh my gosh.
Police protected the funeral service and monitored Leanne, Ralph, and David.
Ugh.
Everyone had good things to say about Joan. It was a modest service. Everything seemed to be pretty respectful, besides the whole media showing up.
Give me a break.
And at the burial site, as Joan's casket lowered to the ground, Ralph tipped his head to God and prayed. And as the casket hit the bottom, Ralph burst into tears and turned to his sons for comfort. The reality had finally hit him that she was not coming back.
Isn't that so fucking sad?
It's like he was just tricked.
That it took, like your delusions, your religious...
I mean, he was still responsible for his part in this,
Absolutely.
and he could have stopped it at any time. But like, in a way, the religious trickery of it is just really sad because his friends definitely manipulated his his faith in God to like save her and to help with her mental health. Like, he's only dealing the cards that he knows, like dealing with the cards that he knows. He doesn't know everything about mental illness. He doesn't know everything about spirituality. So like...
Yeah, he had that moment.
Mm-hmm.
He had that moment, and it just, they're like, nope, it's a demon. Remember, this is not your wife.
Leanne and David are such fuckwad buttholes.
Mm-hmm.
A tiger with a screwdriver.
What these fuckers do?
They said it was Joan's choice not to return to Earth and that they have nothing to hide about what happened. What kind of victim blaming is that? It was her choice not to come back?
I hope you slip and the broomstick goes right up your ass.
So much Southern accent just came out of you.
Sorry, it happens. Victim. Now we're getting into gaslighting and we're getting into victim blaming. Excuse me? And Joan's over here just like, I was having health issues and mental health issues, and you fuckers decided that an exorcism was going to cure me? How about, I don't know, a medical doctor?
How about an ER? Anyway, Ralph moved in with John and Leanne shortly after the funeral.
No.
Their prayer circles no longer met, but they were still holding strong to their faith. 3 months later, Matthew, David, Leanne, and Ralph were arrested and charged with manslaughter for the death of Joan Vollmer, and there was a hearing in September. Each defendant carried a Bible the entire time.
I can't roll my R's hard enough.
I thought you said roll my ass hard enough.
I said eyes, but then I put an R in there for some reason.
My
I don't know. My R's. I can't roll my R's hard enough.
Either way, I agree with you.
Whether you're rolling your eyes or rolling your ass, I'm there.
A Baptist theologian testified that though the belief in demons is real, it is not the duty of the believer to exorcise demons, especially with a better understanding of mental health sciences. The prosecution had little physical evidence to take to a jury and an uncertain cause of death. The magistrate let them all go. Ralph told a journalist on his way out of the court that God's will had been done, and I praise and rejoice in the Lord. Ralph didn't believe that any of them had actually caused her death by pushing on her throat or starving her or pushing on her stomach. And he said if time turned back, he would do it all again because she really was possessed. And the community, just like Laci, is outraged by the court's ruling. They wanted extremists to be held accountable and injustice towards abuse on women to be nicked. So...
You're telling me these fuckers just walked on out of there?
Yeah. But listen, the public is not letting this go, okay? Which, again, your voice matters in all things in your community. So speak loud.
So did they just not assume, but because of the autopsy, they couldn't definitively say that she died from... Okay.
Yeah.
You fuckers.
One local wrote to the media, everyone reckons we can do anything to our wives now and get away with it as long as we preach the gospel. Church members warned about these types of groups trying to take some of the spiritual matters into their own hands because they believe they have religious authority. And mental health professionals began to cry out about injustice and possible targeting of other mentally ill people being trod over by the law or subscribing to an unwise religious ritual, such as a deliverance. So, well, the court couldn't do anything to ignore it's not just the media, it's not just the public, it's now mental health professionals everybody is stepping up and saying this is wrong.
Everybody is like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Because bare fucking minimum negligence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because let's say she did die from all natural causes. He did not take her to a hospital.
He didn't report the death.
He did not try to get her help.
He didn't do anything.
At all. He knew she was declining.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he was like, let's pray about it.
Let's slap her across the face. Who does that? That's not a line of thinking. That's
abuse. They admitted to assault.
Literally.
And battery.
And David said he knew that they were criminally liable.
So, magistrate, what the fuck?
Well, the court hears the outcries loud and clear, and they brought up charges against the four again and added unlawful imprisonment and reckless behavior because they could make those stick a little bit easier. So,
thank you. Yes, those are clear.
The charges related only to January 30th in the hours before Joan passed.
The girl was tortured for days.
I'm not saying that the law is not just, okay? It never has been.
Why are we just doing January 30th?
Well,
I don't understand it.
I don't agree with it either. But October of 1994, a crowded courthouse looked hopefully to the jury who ruled that based off of Joan's mental health and the film investigators took of Ralph's house tour and the religious conference, the extremist group, the abuse in the hours before her passing, that Leanne, David, Matthew, and Matthew were guilty.
Amen.
Leanne Reichenbach received 4 months. David Klingner and Matthew Neski received 3 months. But Matthew was given a suspended sentence, and he actually served no time. And Ralph served no jail time at all. And he quickly moved to Queensland and remarried and moved on after orchestrating the torture and murder of his 49-year-old wife, Joan.
He does not deserve to live in Queensland. I love Queensland. It's one of my favorite places in New Zealand. I mean, Australia.
Their home has been sold twice since Joan's death, but no one has moved in as of this point in 2025, August 2025, that I'm aware of. It's now a place that you might visit if you were double dog dared or a rebellious teenager attempting to hold a creepy seance with your friends. Joan's family do not speak to Ralph and blame him and his extreme religion for taking their beloved Joan. May she rest in a peaceful place now, and may we never forget her life and the kindness that she bestowed upon people when she was here with us.
Wow.
And that is the story and the case of Ralph and Joan Vollmer.
So do you know what a suspended sentence is?
Not really.
So they get, like, he's charged and he'll get 3 months, but a suspended sentence is you don't have to actually serve any jail time. And if for a certain amount of time you don't commit any other crimes,
then you won't have to actually do it.
You don't have to actually, yeah. But if you commit a crime...
So it's like probation, but like ramped up in a way?
Yeah.
Like if you mess up, basically, you automatically go and it's not like a... Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that fucker doesn't deserve to live in Queensland. Queensland's beautiful. Love it. One of my favorite places in all of New Zealand. You don't deserve to be in that area. Get the fuck out. Go away.
I have questions for the person that's married to him now. Why are you with him? Do you know what happened? And like, are you okay? I have questions.
Yeah, I know, right? I hope you don't have a mental health breakdown because, Lord have mercy.
For all I know, also, I mean, he could be dead by now. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, because it's been so many years, because that all happened in the late 90s, so...
Yes, and he was what, in his 40s?
Yeah.
Late 40s?
Yeah, 40s or 50s.
So
it's possible that, like, he's either just, like, super old or dead at this point, but...
Well, it's not super old. He's, like, 5 years older than your dad. He's, like,
he's
a little bit older than our fathers.
He's super old because he's a bad person. No, he's not. I can't say he's a bad person because I try not to say that about people.
It's okay. I will. He's a bad person.
I know. I try not to say it. You can say it. Yeah, I want you to say it. I can't say it for you.
I'll say it. I can give him grace in the sense of like the religious delusion.
Mm-hmm.
and the brainwashing.
Yeah.
But the moment that like they stand 10 toes fucking deep and say we would redo everything, we would do it all over again.
Disgusting.
When you physically assaulted and tortured her for multiple days, like, excuse me?
And you know that she died. Like, at this point in time, you know that she died and she's not coming back. Like,
You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. And you didn't spend any jail time, and the only two only got a couple months.
I don't know why I'm hesitant to call people bad people sometimes.
Sometimes people are bad.
Because, like, I was totally fine calling that David guy an asshole.
Oh, David.
Cuntbag. So, like, the same goes for Ralph. Like, I think that was horrible. And
dumpster juice.
They should have just admitted her again. They should have just really advocated for her to stay in the hospital and try. And
he used the excuse, I told her I would never take her back because that caused her anxiety. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure being held captive, beaten, and pushed on and choked and all of that and starved, I'm pretty sure that gave her a little anxiety.
I would say so.
Say just a little bit more. So I'm like, really? Like, make it make sense, because it doesn't.
There are not many photos from this case. I have more photos of the house than I think I do, like, Joan herself. There's just not many out there. And they're unclear photos because they're newspaper photos.
Yeah.
There is one photo of her she's standing on some kind of like ship deck and she's like turning the, what is it called? The wheel on a ship.
Oh my God, what the fuck is it? Hoist the mainsail. Mast. No.
That almost sounds right. Someone out there is going to correct me, and I love that for you.
They're screaming into their phones right now, like, Jesus, girls, come on.
But there's a picture of her, like, pretending to turn it, you know? And so that one's a little more clear. And you can kind of see, like, how small she was, just, like, in stature and build. She's just a very, like, small lady, you know?
Yeah.
Just very non-threatening, very...
The helm. It's called the helm.
Love that for us. Everyone that just screamed at me, hush.
You're welcome.
We're still learning.
Stop it. That's
a really spooky, scary case. It's scary to me that none of them served more time for someone's death, and a violent death at that. So
even if her death, like, I don't think it was, but even if her death was natural, why are they not spending more time in jail for kidnapping, torture, assault and battery?
I also kind of wanted John to be charged too.
Yes.
He wasn't part of the actual, like, physical aspects of the exorcism, but he started the whole thing. And he was the one that told Ralph, your wife is possessed by a demon and you're going to have to up the ante. So, like,
yeah,
I feel like he was a main catalyst in the whole thing, and he encouraged this behavior and encouraged his wife to go out there. So I feel like he also should have been charged by, like, association in a way.
Why weren't they at least given mandatory psych holds?
They should have been.
And, like, you mandatory have to be this long in a mental hospital because, like, you legit thought a woman was going to be raised from the dead.
To truly believe those things, yeah.
It's like when we put religion on it, it's like, oh, it's taboo now. We can't really, like, dog on your religious beliefs. Like, yes, the fuck we can when it hurts people. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
That's exactly what that person was telling the reporter. Like, we can abuse our wives as long as we preach about the gospel. Like, that's what you're telling people by allowing them to get away with this. It rings true. Like I said, if there's anyone out there in, like, Australia area that knows anything about, like, the law, especially in the 90s,
yeah,
let us know more, because I don't understand how this happened. I'm not saying we would have handled it any better on the U.S. side, but, like,
we have plenty of cases that we haven't handled well, so
I just have questions. But
I know.
That's it for this case. Do we want to talk about a palate cleanser? Because even though
let's do a palate cleanser.
It may be spooky season, but I require my cleanse palate.
I require a cleanse after that, because Jesus fucking Christ. That was a lot, and I'm uncomfortable. Anyways, you guys aren't going to hear this until way later, and so I'll probably talk about it in earlier episodes.
She's become British within 30 seconds.
I will stop. I'm sorry. I got an echo done at school. We got to experience that the other day, a week ago or so. And that was super fucking cool to see my heart on the screen and see it all pumping. They said I had a very pretty heart and I have good pictures. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. I worked it out right before I came.
Oh my God.
And yesterday I got to see a heart cath done at the hospital, which was super fucking cool. It was I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's going to sound fucking cheesy, but it's an x-ray image, a moving x-ray image of the heart. And when they put different fluids in, the contrast, you can see it pumping it through the blood vessels. And it is this magnificent, beautiful piece of art watching it. And I'm like, that is the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen.
Hey.
I don't know. I love it. I thought it was the coolest ever. I thought it was so fun.
I like it.
So yeah. What's yours, Lola?
It's going to be brought to us by the Good News Network.
Of course. Gotta love it.
A woman loses 2 rings at the beach, each found and returned by different strangers.
Oh, I like that.
This was in southern New Jersey. Laura Emanuel was enjoying the sun over Cape May when, after taking off her wedding band and another ring to put sunscreen on, she promptly forgot about them. And she called, after she realized that she had lost them, she called 23-year veteran of the Cape May Fire Department, Jeffrey Logg, who runs Ring Finders Cape May, a hobby helper service that allows him to spend mornings metal detecting on the beach looking for lost valuables. But he found nothing.
Aww.
A few days after she lost her rings, wild weather struck. She's like, ugh, I'm never going to find it.
Now they're gone. Yeah.
But then Log did another sweep of the shore, and he was able to recover the diamond platinum band for her.
Wow.
Another stranger had picked up a ring and had returned it because he saw her speaking about this on the news.
Oh.
Yeah, he found the other ring.
Wow.
And he brought them to her doorstep.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about how I lost my wedding ring?
No? Oh my God.
So, family heirloom on my husband's side. Yeah. When I tell you, it was the worst couple days of my life. One of my friends, it was a family that we lived with, the mom had bought me a gift, and she bought me, it was the Pioneer Woman K-cup holder for a Keurig.
Yeah.
I didn't have a Keurig.
Oh.
And so I was trying to find what can I use this for? Repurpose it. And it was wooden, and it had a drawer that you pulled out and you slid all your K-cups in, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was like, what if I used it for jewelry? And I had my wedding ring in a ring box, and it had fit perfectly in one of those things in the thing. And I slid it back and then put all my jewelry in it. I let it sit there for about a day, and then I was like, well, I don't really like it on my desk because it was massive. So I took all my jewelry out and I returned it to the store. It wasn't until 24 hours later that I remembered that I had taken that box and pushed it all the way to the back, and it fit so nicely in there, it didn't move, so it didn't make any noise. And so
Laci.
I posted it all over social media. I went to the Walmarts crying. I had employees looking everywhere for that stupid thing.
Wow.
Never found it. Went to my mother-in-law's house, bawling at the doorstep when she answered. She thought I had a miscarriage.
Well,
because I was so upset. I was like, no. And she's like, I don't care about the ring. It's fine.
Oh, thank God.
I know. Everyone was fine. I just felt like shit.
Yeah.
Damn,
Damn, girl.
I know. So don't do that. Everybody learn from our mistakes.
Thanks for tuning in to our spooky episode number 1.
Yes. We'll see you guys next
week.
Yes. For episode 2. Have a great holiday season. and go watch a scary movie.
Drink some cider, watch Halloween Town.
Yes. Soak up that pumpkin spice.
And with that, please stay safe, stay skeptical, stay spooky,
and steer clear of the cultish carousel. Bye. Also, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, and of course, enjoying your spooky, ooky, dooky season, go ahead, like, subscribe, do all the things on all the platforms. We love you. To all of our newer listeners over the last couple of months, hello, welcome. We are so glad you are here. I could not be more excited for all you new listeners. And we have a chock full of a bunch of different episodes that you guys can go just binge the hell out of. So go get those. We also have a bunch of merch. We are going to have both merch sites linked in our show notes. We have one that is exclusively on TikTok. So go check them out. We have such cute merch. If you are watching this over on TikTok, I will stand up in just a second and show you the shirt I'm wearing so you can go and purchase it. Okay. But also, Deadly Faith is brought to you by Laci Bean and Lola Brobbins and audio engineered by Eric Howell. Thanks for listening. Bye.